Like when the movie started, right, when he was first wrecking shit, I said, oh, this needs to be on the big screen. But then as the movie went on, I said, yeah, I understand now why this is Netflix, because I probably would have been in there snoring like I did in Shelby Oaks, man. Alright, y'all, so this was supposed to be a review for Predator Badlands, but I'm gonna be honest, I got lazy, y'all. I did not feel like driving 13 miles to my nearest AMC to go watch this movie. I am gonna watch it, but not right now. Instead, I put on Netflix, turned on Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. I'm a fan of his work, alright? I like Pan's Labyrinth, I love Blade 2. You know, I think he did Shape of Water, you know what I'm saying? The brother's talented, alright? He blends horror and romance and blends them together to make a romantic horror gore fest disturbing fantasy. All right, so yeah, I'm a fan of Frankenstein. You know, even though, like, look, the 1931 Frankenstein, Bride, and Young Frankenstein are like really the only ones that count. I tried watching that De Niro Frankenstein back in the day, and I couldn't. This shit put me to sleep. So I was nervous coming into this because it does have a runtime of 2 hours and 32 minutes. All right, Netflix has a history of making extremely long movies for no fucking reason. There's no reason a Frankenstein movie needs to be 2 hours and 32 fucking minutes. But the reason why is because they separated into chapters. So that's the thing going on right now. Everything's in chapters. So you have the prelude, then you got, the prologue, the prelude, whatever the fuck it's called. Then you got the chapter 1, which is Victor's story. And then you got chapter 2, which is the monster story. So it's told from two different perspectives. So Rashad, what'd you think about Frankenstein? I dug it. You know what I'm saying? Like from the jump, this movie set the tone very quickly, where your boy, the monster, comes out like Kane in WWE. Remember when Kane debuted and he ripped the fucking door off the hinges and he got in the Undertaker's face? Like, it was like on that shit, and he was fucking people up. I was like, okay, here we go. We got destructive, menacing Frankenstein. Let's go. And then Oscar Isaac probably deserves an Oscar nomination because he really killed it as Victor. Now, you go into these Frankenstein movies because, you know, you want to see the monster. Like, the monster is the show. He is the main attraction of the movie, right? But this time around, I was really invested in Victor's story. Like, Oscar Isaac really put in a dope performance where I was like, okay, I could just watch the whole thing about just his story, right? And the set design also was immaculate. The costumes was on point. What's her name? The chick with no eyebrows, man. The Maxine chick. Well, I forget her name already. See, when you get in front of the camera, you just forget shit. Oh my God. I just drew a fucking blank. Maxine Pearl. Okay, well, you know what? Mia Goth. That's her name, goddammit. The shit came to me way after I shot the damn video. Her character almost served no purpose. Like, I thought they were gonna go the route where they were gonna make her like the Bride of Frankenstein, but they really didn't. She was just used as the object of desire for the monster and for the creator. All right. So yeah, this movie was, I dug it, but okay, of course, you know, critic hat on. I did have some issues with it. I think this movie was way too long. This movie did not need to be this fucking long, okay? I don't know what it is about these classic monsters where they put them in these elaborate fucking poetic movies that is supposed to be a horror movie about these monsters, and they make this like this really poetic, elegant, you know, romanticized film. It's Frankenstein, a man and his monster. What made the 1931 classic work? It still works to this day at almost 100 years old. Is that it just gets right to the point. Man tries to play God, creates a monster turns on him, and you feel sorry for the monster, and you realize, you know, it's a story of man, stop playing God. All right, but obviously motherfucker didn't listen because then he made Jurassic Park years later. But it's simple, get right to the point. Here, you know, this is a whole backstory about everything and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, and you see the butterflies flying around and then the flowers and shit and then the beautiful colors and, you know, the creature's getting in touch with his feminine side and now he's very articulate and everything's got the long hair. He's got mice running all over him. I'm like, yeah, man, come on, y'all forgot that this is a monster movie? You know, and there are monster moments in it, don't get me wrong, there's moments where, when he's not being poetic and being a sensitive little bitch, All right, the monster rips people's mouths out. He takes CG wolves and rip them in half. Right, scalps them. I wanted to see more of that. And something about the ending reminded me of Spider-Man 3. Yeah, two Marvel movies come to mind when I watch this movie, right? The first one was X-Men Origins Wolverine. And this is the reason why. Yeah, and every time your boy said Victor, I had Hugh Jackman's voice in my head, right? And then the ending, like I said, it was like Spider-Man 3, the whole I forgive you thing.
I'm not asking you to forgive me. I just want you to understand. I forgive you.
I'm like, that's so anticlimactic. Like, right after I watched 2025's Frankenstein, right, I went back and watched the OG, and mind you, I had some drinks to me by this point. That movie still fucking works. At only an hour and 11 minutes. Frankenstein 31 still works, man. It is still the definitive Frankenstein film with the creature design. Now, the design of the creature here did not look bad, all right? It didn't look bad at all. But nothing really pops about it, you know what I'm saying? Like I say, he put you in the mind of Kane and The Undertaker that needs more sun, you know what I'm saying? That 1931 design, that's still the monster that you think about every time you think of Frankenstein, man. Ain't that some shit? 100 years old, you think about Frankenstein, you think about Boris Karloff. So I guess similar to how nobody can play Freddy like Robert Englund, Boris Karloff is Frankenstein's monster. That's just what it is. But I will say, as far as Victor goes, I think Oscar Isaac is probably the best Victor Frankenstein I've ever seen. And I wouldn't say Gene Wilder, but Gene Wilder technically played the son of Frankenstein, I believe, in Young Frankenstein. Correct me if I'm wrong. But anyways, y'all, this movie has some really dope highlights, all right? So there's some really great things in this film. But like I said, it's pretty long in the tooth. The CG and the wolves and the sheep didn't really work for me. The ending was very anticlimactic. And that's about it, man. I just feel like the movie just didn't need to be this long, man. And it makes me think about how Netflix is talking about having their own theaters. But, man, you got to shorten your movies up some, man. Like, nobody... Like, this shit belongs on Netflix. Like, when the movie started, right, when he was first wrecking shit, I said, oh, this needs to be on the big screen. But then as the movie went on, I said, yeah, I understand now why this is Netflix, because I probably would have been in there snoring like I did in Shelby Oaks, man. No diss to Chris Stuckman, man. But, man, I had the loudest snore in Shelby Oaks, and that was only $1:30. So I can just imagine 2.5 hours, man. So anyways, wrapping this up, I think Frankenstein is a good watch. I can tell Guillermo del Toro really has a love for the characters and for the Frankenstein property. So he put a lot of passion in this film, but I think it was a little bit too much passion. I think this movie is just too poetic. It was just too romanticized. It was just too elegant. You know what I'm saying? It's fucking Frankenstein. I don't know. I thought about the 1992 Dracula, 2010 Wolfman, these very long period pieces that is just too stretched out, man. Simplify it. That's why those old black and white classics still stand out to this day. So anyways, have you seen? Oh yeah, but I gotta grade it. So yeah, I give I give it a B. B minus was what I give Frankenstein 2025. So not a bad movie at all. I really enjoyed a lot about it, man. But then after a while, like, the movie does lose momentum. It gets to the point where you're like, okay, now I'm starting to check my phone. Now I'm starting to scratch my ear. Now I'm starting to fidget a little bit because the movie's starting to lose me. You're losing steam a little bit. But other than that, it was all right. I thought it was all right, man. I thought it was straight. So what did you guys think about Frankenstein? Comment freely below. Let me know what you thought. If you like and dig this content, like, subscribe, notification bell in the corner. And I'm going to try to get that Predator Badlands review up soon. I just gotta get the energy to drive to the goddamn cinema. But yeah, peace out.